dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about NXT Homecoming, September 16th, 2025 at the Full Sail University Arena. This is awesome. I've been looking forward to this all week, and I got to fire up the CW app because I can't watch it live because I don't have CW part of anything that I'm subscribed to, and I don't want to pay any more money than I have to. I'm paying the $30 for ESPN, so but it's fine. My only gripe with CW is there is a lot of ads, and they cut off at the end, and especially at the end of the show with something so important. That I'm very excited for whatever we're teasing here. So let's start it off with a great intro. We look back at the history of NXT in Full Sail University. Sorry, that was an email. And we are celebrating the history of NXT, and it's just a beautiful package. You got to see Dusty, all the way back to Seth and Roman and everyone that's the superstar today. It's just so crazy. And just to put the icing on the cake, they do the OG intro. Oh my gosh, we are NXT. That song, I heard it. I was like, oh, and it brought back so many memories of why I love this brand so much and how it's grown, and then went to the dark ages with the 2.0 and stuff like that. But there were some superstars produced in that time frame too. And now where it's at with Shawn Michaels taking over and giving us, he's cooking. The chef is cooking. And who else is cooking? The man that started it all, Triple H. He comes out, big pop, and he's bow down to the king, baby. He's the one that started this whole journey with NXT. And as he's talking, he says, thank you. We are NXT. These three letters here have grown to be something so special. And he's right. He is very right. And here comes Shawn Michaels. And this was interesting as well, where he goes, hey, what if I came back? Triple H said that. They like taking over NXT. And Shawn's like, oh, well, I didn't want to make this a little awkward, but if you want to make it awkward, buddy, and lo and behold, boom, William Regal's music hits. I was like, oh, yes. And he just says, gentlemen, there's only one way to fix this situation here. And I don't know what he means by this. Is he saying NXT versus Team Shawn Michaels, Team Triple H face each other at War Games? And I was like, oh, my goodness. We're not even to WrestlePalooza yet, and now we're already thinking of Survivor Series. That's how crazy this business is, because they're thinking so far ahead. But he said War Games. I'm like, what does that mean? Will we not have one, but two matches, two War Games at Survivor Series? I hope so, because I love the War Games match. But Charlotte's music hits. It's her old theme. I was just like, oh, man, this is just great, because we have the Women's Tag Team Championship up next, and Alexa Bliss comes out, and they're besties, and they said that NXT is the brand, the women, we're the backbone of this brand and everything like that, and how the women's wrestling evolution started here, the Four Horsewomen and everything like that, And what sucks is like they mentioned Paige, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, as much as I love all this, I wish we could have just said Sasha Banks, But she's off on another, because she was part of that evolution as well. Becky Lynch and all that, Bayley. You just got all these great women that started here on this brand, and now come Full Sail. Well, we go into our first match here. So Charlotte and Alexa versus Izzy and Tatum, the culling. This match was awesome. They just went balls to the wall. But Charlotte and Alexa did retain the championships. Izzy and Tatum a little upset with themselves. But this was a really fun match to kick off the show. And I was like, we can only go up from here, man. We can only go up from here. And we do. We have Sol and Zarya arguing with each other. You know, like Zarya's like, that could have been us. But no, you know, it caught me with the Soul Snatcher. And Sol's like, well, you know, the tension is building there. Then Lainey comes in. Then Candice comes in. And this was my favorite part is Shayna Baszler. I was like, thank God you're back. I hope we do something with Shayna Baszler because she is one of my favorites, and I feel like she is underrated, and I feel like that we can build something with Shayna, and I'm glad that she's back. You know, and this all stems from what I was reading is that, you know, I guess Ronda Rousey says they fired my best friend, so I ain't never going back to that company. And they're like, oh, hold on. We might need Ronda Rousey in the future. But no, Shayna Baszler's back, and it's awesome. And she tells them, like, hey, get your stuff together, Sol and Zarya. Get your stuff together because you guys are our team. DIY versus Trick and Mello. Ooh, baby, this is my match of the night. Oh my gosh, man. And it was great hearing Trick and Mello play off each other for a little bit, but still there was a little tension. Trick was about to take out Mello, it seemed like, you know, and with DIY getting their old school interests back on here, man, it just made me happy. You know, the Johnny seemed happy, and Tommaso Ciampa seemed happy, and everyone was I was just happy, man. I was just like, I am enjoying this night. I got this badass tag team match, and of course, to spoil things, it's The Miz. You know, I was like, yeah, buddy. Taking out Johnny for Trick and Mello to get the win, but I understand because Mello is tied to Miz in some capacity up at the main roster, so Miz didn't surprise me, but I was like, I was enjoying just Trick and Mello reunited, and it feels so good. We have Kelly with Sami Zayn, another person that's made a lot of history in the Full Sail arena. You know, I remember when he won the NXT championship and Kevin Owens came down to celebrate with him. It was just a big moment for Sami, and then Kevin just rips it all away, man. And we had some really great matches there. And it was a big deal when Kevin came in and Sami was there. Sami has a great match. Claudio, you know, you just think about it, you know, Shinsuke. Oh, my gosh, just so many great things in that era. God. But he's like, I got goosebumps. I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll. You know, and the person that I see a lot of awesomeness in is Javon. Josh Briggs doesn't like that. He says Javon is a boy. He's not a man, blah, 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 blah. And now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Mr. Bouncy. Boom! Just starts fighting Josh Briggs. They finally tear him apart. And Sami tells Javon, like, you have something, man. You have something inside your soul right now that I see. And it's a lot like me. We're the underdogs. We can do anything, you know, and the sky's the limit. And he's holding that United States Championship, and he tells Javon, like, you got this, my guy. And Javon's like, yeah. But he's angry. You can tell he's pissed. But I love me some Javon Evans. I love Sami Zayn. I love this moment between these two. And Josh Briggs is Josh Briggs. North American Championship, Ethan versus Tyler Breeze. It was nice to see Tyler Breeze. This was a fun match. Dr. Wagner was in the crowd because of all the stuff that went down at Worlds Collide. I really want to rewatch that show. But Ethan and Tyler went to battle for the North American Championship. But of course, Ethan, all ego, Paige, got the win over Tyler Breeze. No more selfies for you. No more selfies for you. I wonder if Tyler will be used a little bit more. But Tyler looked great. He really did. Then we go right into Tavion Heights. You know, he's trying to hype himself back. He's trying to hype himself up. He's like, I got to get going, man. I got to go scold in. And here comes Damian Priest. He's like, look here, bro. You got something. I can see it in you. Tavion, you just gotta, you know, I told Ava, you know, I got you an opportunity for you to face Ethan Page for the North American Championship. Tavion's like, yeah, let's go then. And David Priest is like, just don't let that fire go, man. I've created so much memories here. And he has. You know, and I missed his really cool entrance with the bow and arrow, and he let it go, and his name would come up in fire and stuff like that. That was some pure fire awesomeness. Now the Grayson Waller effect with Oba and Ricky. Grayson being the prick he is, calling Oba overrated and Ricky soft. Oh man, I was like, what a talk show where he's just, I'm just gonna insult you. And yeah. But during all this, Trick comes out and Oba has, his business is not done with Trick and Trick's not done with Oba. Ricky's there like, hey, I got a title opportunity, September 27th, for No Mercy. So, and then we pretty much set up Oba versus Trick championship for championship next week. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. I wonder how's this going to make the TNA roster feel? Well, they spoke their minds online. You got Mike Santana, you have Moose, you have Matt Hardy. Like this, they're like calling this bullshit for these two to face each other for championship, who will both hold both gold championships. Like that's my brain is like, whoa, this is huge, man. But that was the Grayson Waller effect. Nothing crazy, but except for Oba and Trick, and Ricky was kind of just there. Then we get Ren and Charlie backstage. Charlie says, "I'm going to Japan," and Ren's like, "Well, I'll hold." Well, he tells Ren, "You better hold down the fort." Here comes Bobby Roode, and it's glorious. He did his thing. Then, of course, when you say his name, I messed that up. But Joe Hendry, dun, dun. And it was cool to see Bobby and Joe. And Bobby tell Joe, like, man, it was cool seeing you walk down with that championship at the Royal Rumble, man. It was freaking sweet. But I believe you're going to be champion again, and I'll be rooting for you. And Joe's like, that means the world to me, and they shake hands, and I'm just like Ren, standing like Ren's like, oh my God, look, they shake hands. Then we have Lexis King telling Miles Bourne they're gonna be in a lights out match. They did the bag over the head, I don't know. This whole feud is very interesting, but the best part about this is Finn Balor, coming out to the OG theme, boom, boom, with the lights and everything. He just came out, and he got to the top and did his thing, man. He's making it pop. He says, "I feel great," and then all of a sudden, Miles Bourne is right behind Lexis King, and he takes out Lexis King, and Balor does a coup de grace, and this one, I can tell he put some oomph in it, because when he came down on Lexis King, usually he hits and kind of just slips. Just so I think that's not a pressure, but no, he just went. He stayed on top of Lexis King. I was like, ooh, poor Lexis King. But awesome memory here now. Finn putting Miles Bourne over and everything like that. Yeah, I'm just happy, man. Then Kelly's with Dark State, and here comes Montez, from the Street Profits, and he's like telling him, like, I don't know, I didn't really understand this segment whatsoever, but main event, Fatal Influence versus Rhea, Roxanne, and Lyra. Oh my gosh, the pops for real for all three of these women. Bianca's in the crowd, which was like, hey, where have you been? Fatal Influence, though, they attack before, of course, that's smart. But during the match, what I found interesting was they were showing Mike and Moose's responses and Matt Hardy's responses. So I had the question, TNA Invasion next week? Will TNA ruin the match between Trick and Oba? I feel like that's going to happen. TNA Invasion style, baby. I think it's going to happen next week. So I'm very excited about that. But Fatal Influence versus Rhea, Roxanne, Lyra was a freaking way to close the show. Showing that the women are the backbone of this brand. And Rhea and Roxanne and Lyra got the win because good old Lola Vice, my girl Lola, she came out and JC's like, oh, shit. You. They have a match at No Mercy, and we got WrestlePalooza this Saturday, so a lot of good stuff is on the horizon. But Rhea, Roxanne, Lyra, they get the win. And to close this show, they have Ava and William Regal backstage, and they're with Oba and Trick, and they're talking about all these tweets and everything like that. This is going crazy. My phone's just blowing up. And Oba tells Trick, like, may the best man win. I think Trick was gonna say, I am, But they cut it off so quick on CW, and that was it. I was like, oh. So I went onto the YouTube channel and everything like that to see if I could find if that's all they said, you know. But no, I couldn't find anything. I even did the NXT highlights. They just cut off when Rhea, Roxanne, and Lyra win. So, but that was NXT Homecoming. September 16th, 2025. My match of the night is DIY versus Trick and Mellow Gang. Oh my gosh. Moment of the night. There were so many. Just so many moments that just made me happy. You know, especially the Finn Balor OG music, Charlotte's music, and the whole night was just full of memories that I will hold on to forever, especially in this book here. And this is volume 10, y'all, of my notebook and everything like that. I told the wife, I was like, yo, volume 10. I made it to volume 10 with all my notes and everything like that. And this is still season 5, episode 232. It's come a long way. So that was NXT Homecoming, September 16, 2025. Vic Booker on commentary at the Full Sail University Arena. 5 out of 5, man. I had a good time. And I'm ready for WrestlePalooza. I'm ready for No Mercy. I'm ready for All Out. I'm ready for everything. And then September to remember from AEW. It only gets better and better. All right, y'all. Drop those comments below. Tell me what you thought of the show. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
But
that's that. That's a dunk. That's slam dunk.
Oh, not like this.